Let me know once we're live.
Or live.
All right. Thank you so much, Pray. Hi, everybody. Good evening and welcome to our Healthy Heart session. Praise, I think you need to mute. There's some noise at the background. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Um, Today is another Tuesday. Today I'm by myself. My name is Dr. Hibbah Osei-Kwasi. If you're joining us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, welcome to another Healthy Heart session. Over the last 4 years, we've brought to you several nutrition and lifestyle related topics. These sessions are delivered by our registered nutritionists, registered dietitians, our public health experts, and we've covered a range of topics, so many topics. If you're interested in finding out any of these sessions, please do go to Khan's YouTube page. And I believe there isn't any nutrition topic we haven't addressed yet. And you name them: management of diabetes, hypertension, salt, sugar, carnivorous diet, whole lot of topics. Now, from time to time, I believe it is important for us to pause and remind ourselves about certain things. And that's what I want to do today. If you look at the promotional poster that went around, I'm asking the question, why is it so hard to adopt good habits and repeat bad habits or bad ones? Because at the end of the day, the reason why we have these sessions is to help us as a community for us to make healthier lifestyle changes. We want to adopt healthier dietary behaviors. We want to be more physically active. Yet, as much as we have the best intentions, despite our intentions for us to adopt these healthier lifestyle, we still seem to struggle. Every year so many people set weight loss goals. People set goals about being able to manage their sugar levels. People set goals about just having more fruits and vegetables. They start a few days and then they go back to those bad habits. It is important that every now and then, periodically, we pause and ask ourselves, why is it that we are failing? We need to get to the root of why we are not able to adopt those good habits despite our good intentions. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So please feel free wherever you are: YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. We do keep an eye, on these platforms. Send us your comments and your thoughts, and we will address them for you. Any questions at all, please do send them to me. Yeah. Okay, now there are so many theories to explain why it is so hard to adopt good habits, but people keep repeating bad habits. There are so many theories out there, So I'm just going to share one perspective. And this is from a book that I recently read. As I said, there isn't one way of explaining why it is so hard to adopt good habits. But I'm just going to focus on one of the common ways that I've just read about. It's not just because it's something that I talk about. I might have discussed this in previous sessions, but I believe it is important that from time to time we go through some of these reasons. I don't have a lot of people on because I would have loved to hear. I'll still ask this question anyway. Um, does anyone know why it is so hard to adopt good habits, but it's easier to repeat the bad ones? I would love to hear, from people. Any thoughts at all? What do you think is the reason? Why do we struggle to adopt good habits, but it's very easy to repeat the bad ones? Does anybody have any thoughts on this question? Otherwise, praise, I'll pick on you. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think is the reason? Why is it so easy to do the bad things.
but not the good one.
Pardon?
You say, why is it easy to do the bad habit? Or
Yes. Why is it very easy to repeat the bad habits? Bad in quotes. Like we all do know we shouldn't be having too much, sugar sweetened beverages. We shouldn't be having too much alcohol. We should be physically active. We do know that these are unhealthy behaviors, yet
yeah,
we struggle to stay away from those unhealthy behaviors. And then the good things that we do know we should be doing, like having our at least 5 a day, having lots of water, being more physically active. We struggle to do that. I just want to hear your thoughts.
I think I would say first of all, maybe the awareness of it,
Mm,
because if we're aware of something, we'll be able to change
to
the pattern of.
practice. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Awareness. But over the last 4 years, we've created a lot of awareness. So we cannot say for our audience or for our community that we are not aware because we've done a lot of educational sessions, so we do know. We know the importance of doing all of these healthy behaviors. Is anybody able to share their thoughts? No? Okay. That's fine. I'll go ahead and share my own thoughts from my reading with you. I'll share slides as I go along, but then I would sometimes I just want a bit of engagement, so I'll stop sharing. Okay, now certain people who have studied this, trying to understand why adopting habits are not easy, have come out with a number of theories. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is from a book, Atomic Habits. So I don't know if some of you have read this. The authors say that a lot of the times we try to change our habits in the wrong way. What do I mean by that? I'm going to share my screen for this one. Just 1 second whilst I share this diagram. So, there are 3 layers of behavior change. Again, this is just from a particular book, depending on which book or which paper you are looking at, behavior change can be looked at from different angles. Now, I'm using this framework to explain my talk today. So there are 3 different layers of behavior change. You could have it at the outcome level. What do I mean by the outcome level? Say your goal, your lifestyle goal is to lose weight. That is your outcome level. So behavior change could be at the outcome level. It could be at the process level. What do I mean by processes? Processes are all the systems you put in place to help you achieve your outcome. So that's another layer of behavior change. And then there is another one known as the identity change or the identity level. So that has to do with your viewpoint, your world view, things you believe could explain certain things in the world. Okay. That is your identity. Who you are, what you think of yourself is your identity. Now, the authors of this, the people who explain behavior change with this framework are of the view that a lot of the times, despite our good intentions, to eat healthier, to eat more fruits and vegetables, to be more physically active, we try to change the wrong thing. What do they mean by that? Let me show you my next slide. They refer to the direction of change. A lot of the times we set that big goal, which is weight loss, and that's it. That's the outcome objective or goal. We do not focus on the systems. We do not focus on our identity. Now let me stop sharing because I want to be seeing people as I speak. Okay. Now, all levels, all the three levels that I'm talking about are important. The problem is the direction of change. It is important for you, whatever lifestyle behavior you're trying to adopt, is important for you to have a goal. It is also important for you to have systems in place. And it is important for you to have identity goals, but it is the direction. Are you starting from the outcome, as in, oh, I want to lose weight? That's where you start from before you start thinking about the processes you even need to put in place for you to be able to achieve those goals, or your identity. So, what has been proposed is for us to start thinking about these things from the identity. So, think of identity-based habits first. Then you think about the processes, and I'll explain as I go on before you come to the outcome. So it's the direction of change that is important. Okay, most people don't consider identity goals, and what do I mean by identity? Let me explain that. Your identity. Sometimes people say, let's take a simple example. You have people who tell you that, oh, I'm not a fruit person, or I don't like water. I'm not a water person. So people like that would always be taking drinks or just tea. That is your identity you have created from yourself, for yourself. Now, these are not things we are born with. A lot of the times when people within our community tell me, oh, I'm not a salad person, or I'm not, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. I'm always like, it is all identity we have created for ourselves. There are certain things we can't change. We can't change our race. That is different. But then for you to say things like, I'm not a vegetable person, I'm not a fruit person, it is an identity that you have created for yourself. And until you work on that old identity, whatever goals you put down for yourself, your old identity is going to sabotage what you're trying to do. If you tell yourself, I'm not an exercise person, you believe within you that you are not that kind of a person. And then you say, oh, I want to now be physically active. You will not achieve it. That identity you have created for yourself. And a lot of the times we don't think about it. We don't think it's sometimes in the subconscious mind, things we believe and we feel. I remember when we started that intervention where we're trying to cut down on portion sizes, people were like, no, this is not for me. Yeah, where I come from, I can't eat this small portion of rice and I'll be full. This is not an identity we are born with. It's an identity we created for ourselves, which we can work on. So if you are serious about making lifestyle changes, it needs to start from there. You need to sit down and reassess some of these things. What are your worldview? What are the beliefs you have about yourself? Okay. If you want better health, but you continue to prioritize comfort, then you can't achieve it. So there are some people who say like, oh, they don't like the discomfort of running or walking. That's not me. You cannot want to be healthy and not want to be a bit uncomfortable. Okay. All right. Let me share another slide about identity, because this identity thing is a huge thing that I want us to really get today. So, yes, I was talking about the identity level and how that is important for us to be able to make healthier lifestyle, or, sustain or adopt healthier behaviors. Now, the identity, or your identity, is a set of beliefs and systems that underlie your identity. You can't change habits if you don't change beliefs that led to past behavior. So what are those beliefs you have that made you do things in a certain way? You can have a new goal and a new plan, but you haven't changed whom you are. Okay, let me go back to the issue of, oh, I'm not a vegetable person, or I'm not a fruit person. If that is what you tell yourself and you're trying to lose weight, how are you going to do that not eating healthy? That is where people go on fat diets. That is where people now decide to go for easy fixes because they've told themselves they have beliefs that certain things don't work for them. In spite of the evidence, the scientific evidence we have out there to show that once you eat healthy, eating healthy meals with your fruits and vegetables, right proportions, whole meals, plant-based, all of that would help you lose weight or help you have a healthier lifestyle. Some people still will tell themselves, this doesn't work for me. And so if that is who you are and you don't believe in some of these things, then don't even bother setting goals because it won't work for you. Okay? Instead of saying, I want this, try, I am this. How do you go about changing that identity? Instead of telling yourself, oh, I want to be a healthy person. So this is from the book that I told you. They were giving some examples, Tell yourself you want to be that person who eats well. You want to be that person who has a healthy lifestyle. So, yes, you can start by wanting to be, but get to that point where you see yourself as that person who has the 5 a day. True behavior change is identity change. Change what you do. A lot of the times people think motivation is what you need. Motivation will just help you start. Okay, yes, it's important. You need to be motivated to want to make some lifestyle changes. You need to be motivated to want to be more physically active. You need to be motivated to want to have a healthy diet most of the times. But sticking to those changes, those good habits, those lifestyle changes would require you doing something about your identity, the perceptions, the beliefs we have about ourselves. If you stick to the beliefs behind the habits, then improvement or changes will be temporarily. Okay, so until you change those beliefs, and I can't emphasize that enough because, having engaged with a lot of people within our community, you hear people saying, oh, this is not for me. Oh, no, we don't do things this way. Oh, this food doesn't have to be eaten this way. Said whom? Yes, we eat lots of double carbs and triple carbs on our plates. Now we know better. We are having beans, we are having gari, we are having ripe plantain, all very heavily carb diets. Okay, starchy carbs. Now we know that we need to try with each plate add some vegetables to it. We know that. We've talked about it this here a lot of the times. So we need to change that identity. We need to stop saying that this is how it's eaten in that community. Well, it's eaten like that, but what's the result of that? Eating all of these starchy foods has led us to where we are now. All of this high prevalence of, type 2 diabetes, high prevalence of obesity, high prevalence of diet-related diseases, preventable diet-related diseases is from the way we eat in our lifestyle, mainly from these factors. So we do know that these behaviors or these beliefs, the food culture, certain aspects of our food culture needs to change. How can we make those changes? We need to change our identity. I don't mean changing your identity from being Ghanaian to something else or from being Nigerian or Caribbean to something else. No, that's not what I'm saying. It is just the beliefs behind the food culture. We don't eat this in this way. I always argue about that. We know better. So we can make these tiny, tiny changes. What vegetable can we add to that meal that is traditionally eaten? And I'll give you an example, a common delicacy in Ghana. So this is kenke. Kenke is a starchy staple, fermented corn. Is typically eaten with fried fish. I tend to use this example a lot. And people from West Africa or people who know this dish would have it with a small pepper sauce, which could just be one teaspoon or 1 tablespoon. A few people will cut few onions or tomatoes on the side. That's how it's typically eaten. If you have that for lunch with no vegetables, and then for dinner, you're having jollof rice and chicken or rice and peas. Rice and peas, also very starchy with no vegetables. At what point of the day are we going to be able to meet our 5 a day? We don't want to stop eating our foods because our foods can be healthy. Our African and Caribbean dishes can be healthy. So what do we want to do? Rather than saying kenke and fish is eaten without vegetables, we want to start introducing some vegetables, some cut onions, some more sliced onions, more sliced peppers onto this plate so we can meet our 5 a day because we do know why that recommendation is there. We do know that if we are able to have the 5 a day, we are preventing so many diet-related diseases. We do know that even if we are living with some of these diseases, we can better manage these conditions. So we need to work on the beliefs behind some of these food culture that we have. This is not eating this way. This is not eating that way. How has that helped us? Sometimes you have people arguing with you that, but this is how our forefathers used to eat and they were still fine. We can't compare that era where the hunter-gatherers era to this era. When our forefathers used to work so hard and go and find these animals themselves, burning all of the calories. We live in an obesogenic environment. What is that? An environment that promotes obesity, an environment where it's so easy to just get big because everywhere you go, you find unhealthy foods. Everywhere you go, it's so easy for you to just go with, to drive around public transport. It's not the same. We are eating so much more oil. We are eating so much more animal proteins, So it's not the same. Let's stop making that comparison with, oh, but our forefathers used to do this and then they were fine. No, we can't. We live in a different era. So we have to do things differently. How are we going to do those things differently? We need to review our identity. Now, another important thing about this identity, the identity goals, is that if you start from the identity, it becomes easier for you to make those changes. Why am I saying that? Let me just use, because a lot of us are either Muslims or Christians. When um um when you see yourself or you identify as a particular religious person, like a Muslim or a Christian, it's easy for you to go to church or the mosque because then that is who you are. Okay, so because you see yourself as a Christian or a Muslim, going to church, reading the Bible or the Quran is easy for you to do. It's easy for you to do these things because that is who you are. In the same way, if we change that perception, our identity when it comes to lifestyle behaviors, and tell ourselves that I want to be that, I am that healthy person, that person who has healthy lifestyle behaviors, it will be easy for us to pick on those things, those new, small changes, because it is who you are. It is not a lifestyle change you are making. You've told yourself, this is who I want to be. This is who I am. I am someone who is eating healthy or who's going to be eating healthy for the rest of my life, who's going to adopt healthier lifestyle behaviors. So it becomes easy for you to make those changes. But if you don't, if we don't work on that identity and we still struggle with, this is how we eat back in Nigeria, this is how we eat back in Kenya, and so it's hard for me to do this, then we will struggle. Despite our good intentions to make those lifestyle changes, we are going to struggle. Yeah. Okay. I'll stop sharing and see if there's any thoughts from anybody. If not, then I go on. Does anyone have any thoughts or questions they want to ask? Okay. I'll go to the next thing on my slide then. Okay, now let's talk about disappointment. Still talking about, remember the session is about why people find it so difficult to adopt good habits or healthy lifestyle behaviors, but they find it really easy to maintain the bad ones. Sometimes when we start this journey of eating better, so some people start very well, having their 5 a day, making sure there are vegetables on each plate, breakfast, lunch, dinner, having their fruits in between, drinking lots of water, making sure they are physically active and all that. Then after a few days or a few weeks, they want to see changes. People want to see, after running for 2 or 3 weeks, they already want to see that people who are on, especially people who are on the weight loss journey, they already want to see that they've lost 5 kilos after running for a week or two. So there are disappointments because they seem not to get anywhere. People expect linear progress. People expect that I'm eating this and that and that and that. I'm ticking all the boxes, but I'm not seeing any progress. And then they get disappointed. And then they go like, you know what, let me go back to my old habits. One thing we need to remember is that the most powerful outcomes are delayed. That is why it's so hard to build habits that last. Okay, so people start to build habits, see no change, and then they decide, you know what, I've given up. Okay. In order for us to make meaningful difference, habits need to persist long enough to break this plateau of latent potential. I've talked about this here before, and I don't know if I have a slide on that, but a lot of the times, just before just before you get to that point, maybe where you start seeing that weight loss, people give up. People give up. Now, I remember through one of my studies that I did in Manchester, I was trying to understand people's readiness to engage in these practices. And someone told me directly that, these healthy eating, programs, they take too long. The people want instant gratification. They want quick fixes in life. People just want that, that's why people would prefer to go for medication. They compare to medication where you have a headache, you take any painkillers and you are fine. But lifestyle, diet, and physical activity, behaviors, or habits, they don't work that way. It takes time. It takes time for you to see, any visible changes on your body. It might be happening internally, but for you to see it on you, it takes some time. And until we come to that realization that we are not doing this just so we see the results in a week or two, this is a lifelong investment for our health, then we will keep feeling disappointed. We'll keep feeling these disappointments that we do. It is not meant for you to do it today and then you see the results tomorrow. But those little insignificant changes, they do add up. They do add up. Even though they are so tiny, they do add up in the end. And that is what I want to remind us today. So if you are in that position, anyone who is trying so hard either to lose weight the healthy way, which is what we recommend, the sustainable way, so that at the end of the year it's just a couple of kilos, it's not 20 kilos, it's just a few kilos. I mean, assuming you lose 1 kilo a month and you're consistent with that, at the end of the year that is 12 kilos. Because what would you rather want? The opposite? Which is also something you might not see happening. Because when you're gaining the weight as well, or whatever bad habit it is that you are inculcating, you will not see the effect immediately. It adds up. It adds up. So if you're not eating healthily and you decide, okay, I'm not seeing the results, I'll eat any way I want, it would also add up. It would also add up and compound, and then you have the effect at the end of so many years. That's why we are seeing lots of people in our community, developing these diet-related diseases. It is, compounded or build up of unhealthy dietary behaviors among other factors, but we tend to focus on the ones that we have control of. I always emphasize this because I'm like, there are those ones and non-modifiable factors we can't do much about. We can't do anything about our genes, we can't do anything about our race, we can't do anything about the fact that we are growing older age. All of those things we can't. You can't do much about being a male or a female, but you can do something about these ones. And that is why we are constantly talking about this. So let us not see this as a disappointment. You do something for 3 months. What is important is the systems that I talked about, the processes. You have a goal in mind. The goal is to be able to adopt healthier dietary behaviors. What systems have you put in place? Change your identity. I've spent time explaining the identity. Once you get the identity right, you know who you are and what you're trying to achieve. Focus on the systems and don't worry too much about the goals. Work on how you will get there. Let that be part. The systems is what is important. Make that part of your life and don't worry too much about, the goals. It is important to have a goal, but it is the systems, according to this framework I'm using today to explain, our topic. Do we have any comments or questions before I continue? Anyone has any thoughts on this they want to share? Okay. Are there no comments or questions from social media? If not, I'll go ahead.
No, nothing.
Okay, all right. I'll continue sharing my slides then. Okay. Now, how many of us have had problems trying to change a particular dietary habits or lifestyle habits? I bet lots of us, this is a problem that cuts across. So many people will tell you, oh, I tried, especially when we did that portion size interventions, lots of people struggle to put that, to sustain that behavior change, even though at the time we're doing the intervention, it was easy for people to do it. Later on, a lot of people gave up on it. Now, if that is who you are, if you are that person who is still struggling, the problem isn't you. It is your systems. It is your systems that you haven't put in place. What do I mean by that? Now let's use the portion size study project we did together as an example. Oh no, let me use an example of a question that I was asked here. 2 weeks ago, there was a question from LinkedIn. Someone asked me that he wanted tips on how he could practically cook healthy foods or something in those lines, So that person has intentions of cooking, but was struggling. This is what I meant by motivation is not enough. It will help you start, but it's not enough. What systems have you put in place? So going back to that question that came from LinkedIn, to enable you cook healthy meals every day, what systems have you put in place? Have you meal prepped? If you're a busy person who is not always at home, have you set out, a day within the week where you would meal prep some of your ingredients you want to use in cooking? Because if you don't do that, if you don't put that system in place, you come back from work, you're too tired. You don't want to now start cooking a meal from the scratch. If you do that, you might be too exhausted or you might not end up not cooking. So you see how that would sabotage your goal or your motivation of wanting to cook healthy meals all the time. You haven't meal prepped, and you and I know how long it takes to cook our meals. African and Caribbean meals take so long to cook. So if you haven't meal prepped some of these ingredients in your freezer, then you are going to struggle to be able to have a healthy, cooked, fresh meal every day. You want to get more physically active. When do I have to work out? What should I eat? You need to ask yourself these questions. What time within the day will I be able to get some time to be physically active? Am I the type who will be able to go to the gym? I don't go to the gym. I just don't have that time within the day. So I do other stuff. I have found a way. I've put a system in place to be able to do that. I try 5 to 7 days a week to get my 10,000 steps. How do I do that? When I go to work, and I know I cite this example a lot, but that's what I do. So I like to share my own experience. I park far away from my office because it's a big university campus. And then I walk to my office, and that single walk alone gives me close to 2,000 steps. So even if I don't go for lunch or I don't do anything, getting back to get my car to come home gives me 4,000 already, close to my goal. Then during lunch, I do other walks. And I do that every single day. That is a system I've put in place to ensure that I am achieving my goal of being physically active. Each and every one of us who has interest, who is willing, who wants to adopt healthier dietary or lifestyle behaviors, needs to put some systems in place for yourself. That cannot be decided for you. You know your circumstance, you know your context. So you need to think about what would work for you. We all have 24 hours in a day. We are not going to get more. We are getting busier and busier and busier. So until those systems are put in place, we will struggle to adopt healthy dietary or lifestyle behaviors. Now, for the people who were able to adopt at the time we had our intervention to cut down on their portion sizes, we were all there in a group sharing our meals. So it was easy within that 6 months. We were encouraging ourselves. So, putting reminders. It was easy for people to always have vegetables. Because remember, the only reason why people were able to stick to the reduced portion size of our staples is because we had replaced it with a lot more vegetables. So we're still having our African and Caribbean foods, but we're having a lot more of the vegetable sauces and the vegetable soups. Now, people have failed. People are unable to stick to this. Why? Because sometimes they don't have vegetables at home. And that is not because they cannot afford it. No, that's not the issue. Because during our sessions, we talked about the fact that we can add in frozen vegetables, tinned vegetables. We have encouraged all of these vegetables as part of a healthy meal, And so the issue here, based on the participants who did the intervention with us, would tell us that it's not really about the cost, It is just consciously. I'm always telling people healthy eating needs to be deliberate. You need to plan. Because if you don't have the vegetables when you're having because for whatever reason, we always have the rice, we always have the bread, we always have the pasta. It's the vegetables that we sometimes don't have, And I'm not talking about fresh vegetables all the time. I like to promote frozen vegetables as well because they are equally as nutritious as the fresh ones, if not even better, because it retains some of the nutrients. It is only because we might not have added it to our shopping list. So for you to put that system in place is making sure that when you're doing your shopping, you always make sure that if you're buying fresh ones, you have frozen ones, just in case you don't have any fresh ones, you can rely on the frozen ones. And once that system is in place, it will be easy for you to reduce your portion sizes because then you can replace some of the starchy carbs with a bit more of vegetables. This is what I mean by systems. So until we put systems in place, we will not succeed. We will struggle to adopt healthier diets or healthier lifestyle behaviors. Okay. Now, I think I touched on this, but I would emphasize it again. When I said that when I talked about disappointments, I mentioned the fact that a lot of the times we want to see, a big difference, but small habits make a big difference. It might not just happen immediately, you know. We tend to overestimate the importance of one defining moment and underestimate the value of making small improvements on a daily basis. Now, as I mentioned, if you read the book Atomic Habits, which is small habits, it really explains this into details, you know. We're always looking for that moment. And that's what happens in life. You know, even when you watch the Olympics, when people win medals, yes, that is what we focus on. But we lose sight of the fact that all of these people have trained for so many years, you know, and we don't see the hard work. We only see the successes, you know, and the failures. Effects of your habit multiplies as you repeat them. They seem to make no difference, but the impact over months or years can be enormous. It is after years that you can see the impact of good or bad habits. So yes, as you keep doing as you keep having your 5 a day, you will not see the difference. You won't, which is why people give up. But it compounds, you know, the small improvements would make a difference. It just takes time after years that you can see the impact of a good habit, the same way you can see the impact of a bad habit after so many years. Oh, yes, you will see it. You will see. Even if there are some people who argue that, oh, some people eat all the junk in the world and they never get fat. You don't always have to be obese to be having, you know, health-related problems. Yeah, you could struggle with other conditions, you know, that are not always just what we see, you know, outwardly. Okay. Research shows that when you believe in a particular aspect of your identity, okay, so this goes back to identity, you will act in alignment in that belief. For example, if you incorporate exercise in the identity, yes, then you don't have to convince yourself to train. If you tell yourself, I'm a physically active person, that is you, that's the identity I'm talking about. You don't have to convince yourself to want to do any physical activity. When Orlando is doing some exercises here, you get up and do it because nobody needs to convince you. That is who you are. Okay, doing the right thing is easy because you are no longer pursuing behavior change. You are just acting in line with the person you are. That's the importance of the identity change. That is the importance of, you know, rethinking identity. Once you have that change in identity here, it is easier for you to do stuff because you don't need convincing. You are a physically active person. You are someone who eats healthy. You want to be healthy, you know, so you're just acting in line with that. Okay. Do we have any questions, please, or comments? Whenever I do talks like that, like this, everyone goes so quiet. So quiet. Any comments? Okay.
We're
Yes.
quiet because you are making sense. That's why we're quiet. We're imbibing whatever you're saying.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's not new, isn't it? It's things that we know,
Yeah,
but we need
yeah.
these
But we
reminders.
need reminding. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right. I have 15 more minutes, so I have a couple more slides. Now, because I remember what we are talking about is why is it that we find it so difficult to adopt good habits, but very easy to repeat bad habits? I'm trying to explain some of the theories behind, you know, this. Now, going back to what I talked about, the fact that we shouldn't always just focus on the goal. I want to be a size 12. It's not always the healthiest thing or the best way to achieve behavior change. Why am I saying that? We need to change that mindset. I want to do this. I want to be a size 14, you know, or once you reach that goal, you know, we tell ourselves that, oh, once I reach that goal, then I'll be happy. You know, research shows that sometimes by doing that, you are boxing yourself in narrow happiness. Okay. That goal is momentarily. If you work hard, you will achieve that. So say you are a size 18 and you tell yourself by the end of the year, you want to be a size 14 or 12 and you achieve that. You get there, then what? Do you realize that a lot of the times people get there, before you know it, they go back to gaining weight again? And that is why I'm emphasizing that let us not focus on the goal only. Let's focus on the processes rather than the output. Because if you don't focus on the process, you may address symptoms without the cause of the problem. You want to fall in love with the process. How are you going to achieve that weight loss goal? You want sustainable ways, eating healthy, doing physical activity. If these days I don't even check my weight anymore, because I've done the 10,000 steps, and all of the stuff that I do has become part of my life. I really not focusing on the weights anymore, because I am focusing more on the processes. I think that those goals only, if you just focus on the goals, it will restrict your happiness. So this theory advises that you focus on the process and not just the goal, so you don't box yourself in some narrow happiness. My computer is kind of misbehaving. 1 second. Okay, so we want to fall in love with the process rather than just the output. Okay. So they say the goals will help you win the game, but the processes helps to play the game and helps you to stay in the game. Why am I emphasizing on this? Because I'm trying to explain why we struggle, with maintaining or adopting healthier behaviors. You get to the goal and then you are done. What we want to do is to fall in love with the processes, all of the stuff that would help you get to that goal. That should be of interest to us, or most important to us, rather than just the goal. Yeah. A few important points before I come to an end. Okay, I think I'll share the slide again here. Habits. One thing I want us to remember about habits or behaviors are those small decisions you make and actions you perform every day. Okay? Your life today is essentially the sum of your habits. How in shape or out of shape you are has a lot to do with your habits. It does. And this does not just apply to lifestyle behaviors. It applies to a lot of things in our life. Okay? Think outside of diet and physical activity. What you repeatedly do ultimately forms the person you are, the things you believe, and the personality that you portray. Again, think outside of even food and physical activity. What you repeatedly do. If you are repeatedly, singing, you automatically you become good at singing, you become a singer. If you're repeatedly doing something, it becomes who you are. It informs your personality, and then your belief. When you learn to transform your habits, you can transform your life. And what are the habits? The small decisions you make and actions you perform every day. So what small decisions are you taking for yourself every day? What are those processes? That is what becomes part of you. So that is what would make the good habits stick, and that is what will make the bad habits stick as well. So if you make it a point that every day you're going to have a can of Coke, you keep doing that, it becomes part of you. I know I have people who can't go a day without a can of Coke. That's because they've done that over and over and over again. So the same way that bad habit has become part of people's identity, if you tell yourself, every day I'm going to have a fruit, let's start from there. Every day, that would become part of your identity or who you are. So, how do we start this wellness journey or lifestyle journey, which we talk about all the time? Take responsibility of our health. I can't say that enough. We need to take responsibility of our health. Nobody's going to do that for us. We need to, we need to make one small change. I think sometimes we also think about, when we talk about lifestyle changes or dietary changes, we are thinking of massive changes. No, it just needs to be one small change. One small change. I know people who don't have fruits at all. I know people who don't like to drink water. So sit down and tell yourself what those changes are. What are the things you're struggling with? And then make one small change at a time. If that is drinking water, making sure you're having enough water, let that be the change you want to see. Put processes in place. What could be the processes? Making sure you have water around you, your water bottle all the time, or even setting a reminder on your phone, for someone who struggles with drinking water. Once you do that, you can now add one more, gradually, and then you add another. But start with a small change, just one small change. And most importantly, be consistent. Because remember what I said about habits. What did I say? They are the small decisions you make and actions you perform every day. So it's not about having your 5 a day on Monday and not having it again until the following week. It doesn't work. You will go back to the bad habits. So instead, maybe start with 2 fruits and 2, if you are that person who doesn't have vegetables at all, start small. Maybe start with 2 a day if you're not already having it, but just make sure you're consistent. Okay, don't do 5 a day today and then you're not doing it at all, and then you wait another week before you do your other 5 day. You need to be consistent with those good or healthy lifestyle behaviors. And most importantly, be patient. If you're not living with any of these chronic conditions, and you just want to have a healthy life, then be patient with yourself. Let your goal just be that you want to make sure you are preventing any of these preventable diseases. That's your ultimate goal. So put the processes in place. And in that case, I don't expect you to be seeing anything, because it's not like you're trying to lose weight or you're managing any blood glucose levels or anything like that, So just be patient. Enjoy the process. As long as you're doing the right thing, try and enjoy it. Let running or walking or doing these physical activity or exercises, find something you enjoy, dancing, whatever it is. Let it be part of you, and be patient with yourself. Okay? Remember, it is all about moderation. The reason why people struggle is that they want to make these massive changes. No, we don't want you to abandon your entire food culture. That's not what we are saying. It is just those small changes. It's everything in moderation. We don't tell people abandon all of your ice creams and your cakes. It is, even if you're having it in moderation. I like to have my cake every now and then. You do not need to go on a diet. Let's forget about those fad diets. Yes, they would work so fast in 3 months or 6 months, but you will go back to unhealthy dietary behaviors. So let's not work with all those diets, people telling you to cut down low caloric diet, except if you have gone to a dietitian and you are dealing with a particular condition that's different, But don't just stay at home or talk to all of these many social media influencers who just tell you to do all these kind of diets. Every now and then there's a new diet out there. They are not sustainable. You do not have to give up on your favorite foods. And also remember to speak to, an expert. Okay? Now, before I conclude, these are quotes that I like. This is a colleague's quote that she always uses, Dr. Ojwan. Let's remember that our genes load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. Yes, as Black people, African and Caribbean people, we always hear, these statistics and the fact that being Black puts you at risk at so many conditions. That's really true. But the fact that we are at risk doesn't mean we need to get it. It is the lifestyle that will pull the trigger. Yes, the genes are there, but it's our lifestyle that will pull the trigger for us to be able to actually show these preventable diseases. Then a very famous quote, remember, when diet is wrong, medicine is of no use. And when diet is correct, medicine is of no need. Yeah, if you eat well, you really might not need medicine, or your medicines might be reduced for you. But when your diet is wrong and you're still taking medication, the medication might not even work properly. Finally, if we are trying to get something we've never had before, then we have to do something you've never done before. It's a quote I like. Okay, so if you've been struggling, you know what is right from wrong, but you're still struggling, you're not able to get what you want. You have to be willing to do something you've never done before. What is that? Maybe focusing on the processes this time rather than focusing on the outcomes alone. Sitting down to think about measures, processes that you can put in place to ensure that, you achieve the goals, or working on your identity. You need to sit down, think about your identity. What is your worldview on some of these things we talk about? Yeah. Okay. I think my time is up. I have some other slides, but that would be for another session. This was to help us understand why we struggle to adopt healthier or good habits, but then it's really easy for us to maintain the bad ones. I just have a few more minutes, so if we have any comments or questions, yeah, I'm happy to take them. Does this kind of, is it relatable, some of the stuff I talked about?
Yes, it is.
Thanks, Praise. What do people think? Do we think about the systems? Do we think about how to achieve our goals whenever we set our New Year's resolutions? Or are we still pondering over the session?
I think you have nailed it on, You said something about focusing on the process, which is important. And then when you focus on the process, gradually, you will achieve your goal, which is important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, that's not what we do. We focus on
That's not what we do, yes. We focus on, I want to be 14, I want to be 12, I want to be 8. And then once we are not getting it, we get disappointed, we are no more motivated, and then say, okay, let me go back to the old habit after all.
Or die. After all, that's exactly what happens. We don't focus on, we don't put systems in place to help us achieve our goals. And this could just be like what I talked about, thinking through, which time of the day we want to do stuff.
Yeah. And then people should be aware about all this online, postings, do this, do that, do that. Some of them are actually not achievable. I was watching news one day, and I saw where this man that was telling people that when they slap their elbow or something like that inside of their elbow, when they slap it severally, they don't need to take their blood pressure medication. And I think one woman died out of it. And in fact, she had scars all over her arm because of slapping, just slapping. I think the man is now is in detention for having killed somebody. And that is online something. And even that woman that died of it was saying that, oh, you are God sent. You are God. And then she stopped taking I think diabetic medication or something like that.
I know.
And that was the end of it.
There's a lot, you know, of
Lot of rubbish online.
Thing out there that we need to be very careful about, and that applies to our diet as well, and nutrition. There's a lot out there that has no scientific, you know, basis. So please, let's be careful, and that's why we have these sessions. Sometimes when we hear some of these misconceptions, we try to come and address it, but we won't hear everything. So please, let's be careful and make sure that we stream everything and filter the information we are getting on social media. Not everything is accurate. Thank you so much for your attention. Ayabo, thanks for the contribution. It's time for our next session. So I'm going to hand it over to Nathan. Nathan, I hear you are the one doing the session. I wanted to just mention the title for next week because it's a very interesting one by Kieran. 1 second. Next week's session would be dietary links to cataract. So the dietary links to cataract, you know, cataract that affects the eye, the silent threat to vision, you know. So we'll talk about.
Okay, yeah. That's a good one. I think I will need that.
Yes. So I hope to see you all next
have that.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening. Please do join in the session with Nathan. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, bear with.
Hello.
Can you see me?
No, yes, we can hear you. I can hear you anyway.
But you can't see now? Okay, bear with me a second. Why is this not working?
The video is stopped. I don't know. Say your video is stopped. Okay, my own.
Yeah, that's what it says for me there. But it doesn't give me the option to turn it on.
I don't know.
Let me see. Is praise on?
Yeah, I'm on. He can turn his video on. Take his
Do you know where it says on? Oh, hold on, what's that? Start the video. Oh, there we go. Are you can we all see me now?
Yeah, we can.
You can, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. So just gonna do 30-minute circuit today. I'm replacing Orlando. Be quite an easy one just to get the heart rate moving. Heart rate up, get a little bit of a sweat on. So first of all, what we're gonna start with, it's just some net rows. If you haven't got an exercise mat, if you've got small weights like cans of beans or a kettlebell, that could come in handy in today's session as well. Okay, is everybody ready?
Yes.
All right, well, what we'll do, we'll start with some net rows. So you put your head forward and just slowly roll it around. And we'll get 3 going one way. Once you've completed your 3, go the opposite way. All right, next we'll move into some chest stretching. So we're doing dynamic stretching now. So this is a stretch where you don't hold it, you just feel it. So hand across the chest, let it go. Back across the chest, let it go. So what we'll do that 5 times on each side. Once you've done your 5 on one side, move on to the next side. 4. That's 5. All right. Next, you're moving on to the arm circles. The arms out like a tree branch, like a T. And what I want you to do is imagine that you're making circles over a pinhead, and then move it over to a golf ball, and then a football, then a basketball, and then a windmill. And then just reverse stop and reverse. So you want to windmill backwards into a basketball, onto a football, into a golf ball, and into some pinheads. All right, next up, we're going to stretch out the side body. So simply, arm at the side, raise it over the head, and lean to your left. You should feel a tug down the side. Let it go. Back again. We'll get 5 of these on each side for a total of 10. And once you've done your 5 on one side, simply do exactly the same thing on the other side. That's 5. All right, then we move into some back twists. So hands together, just at the chest. You can put your fists together if it's easier, or you can even interlace your fingers. And simply keep your hips facing forward and twist, twist, twist. So that's 5 on each side for a total of 10. All right, guys, how are we all feeling? All right, next up, we're gonna open and close the gate. So simply leg up and out to the side, and then back down. Up, out to the side, and back down for a total of 5 on each leg. And that's my 5. And then simply shake that out, and then on to the next. And that's my 5. Then shake that out again. Shake the legs out, get the hips nice and loose. Then what we move on to is what we call heel taps or butt kicks. And simply hands on your buttocks and then kick your heels into your hands. We'll do that for 20 seconds or 20 reps. All right. And one of my favorites, just a forward fold. So feet hip width apart. And then just push your hips back, bend forward, hands on the shins. If you can reach the floor, excellent. You get your hands on the floor. If you need to bend your knees, you can. But just for 10 seconds, we'll be here to get them nicely and them hamstrings nicely warmed up. All right, and then let's get them calves warmed up as well. So simply just going onto your toes 10 times, onto your tiptoes. A nice squeeze in the back of the leg. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, a little bit of a cardio warm up now. So what I want you to do is I want you to just skip, as if imaginary skipping rope, just for 30 seconds. You need to alternate your feet, you can do. 10 seconds. Twenty seconds. All right, next up, take a nice wide stance on your mat. Arms out to a T. What we're going to do for 10 reps or 5 on each side, you take your right hand, touch your left toe, or your shin, or your knee, or wherever you can reach to. Come back up, take your left hand, touch your toes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, keep that same stance, a nice wide stance. And what we're going to do, we're going to do some side lunges. Just want to stretch that inner thigh a little bit. Simply, toes point forward. Just want to bend your left knee, straighten your right leg, and then push back up. Left, right knee bent, left leg straight, and we're up. 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20. All right. And last up before we get into the circuit, just some hip circles. All right. So basically, push your hips forward and just take it round in a line. Nice and slow. Stretch out all their muscles there. Right. So basically, do 5 on one side. Once you've done your 5th, just go the opposite way for 5. And then we'll get right into it. I just need to get my stopwatch. All right, make sure you've got some water as well. Most importantly, to stay hydrated whilst you're exercising. Okay, is everybody ready? All right, so it's a full body. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be working the whole body. We're going to be doing 35 seconds on, 25 seconds rest. We'll do the circuit twice, and in between the circuits, I'll give you 1 minute rest. All right, and then I get you all stretched out. All right, let's go. So first of all, it's going to be push-ups. All right, you can do a full push-up, great. If you can't do a full push-up, I'll give you a couple of regressions. All right, so full push-up, legs straight out on your toes, elbows tucked in, straight down and push back up. If you can't quite do that, you can go onto your knees, straight down and push back up. And if that's a struggle, come onto your hands and knees and what is known as a box push-up. All you got to do is up and down like that. All right, let's go. Your 35 seconds starts now. Come on, guys. 20 seconds, 15 seconds left. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, 25 seconds left. Rest, guys. Take some water if you need to. Take a sit down. What we're moving into next is moving into jogging on the spot or some high knees. So, jogging on the spot, you want to challenge yourself, get the knees nice and high. Or if that's too much, you can just march on the spot. All right, you've got 10 seconds left. Let's get into it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Right, 15 seconds left. 10 seconds left. 4, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, 25 seconds rest. And then what we're going to move into next, some squats. Which is simply hips back, go down, hips back, and push back up through your feet. Hips go back, legs, knees go down, push back up. Again, 35 seconds. Take some water if you need to. My stopwatch is broken. Not ideal. All right, 10 seconds to go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get it. 35 seconds. All right, 15 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Okay, 25 seconds rest. Take some water, take a seat, take a breather. Next, we're moving into burpees. It's not my favorite by far, but this is one where there's a couple of regressions. So basically what we want to be doing is we're going down to our hands on our feet, kick our legs back. If you want to challenge yourself and do a push-up, you can. It's not necessary. Legs back up, straight into the air. All right, if you want to add a little jump in there, you can do. My ceiling's not quite high enough. But 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go, let's go. All right, 15 seconds to go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, 25 seconds. Let's go. Rest, guys. All right, 15 seconds. 10 seconds to go. Right, what we're doing now is some arm rows. All we're doing, drive your elbow straight back, you squeeze your shoulder blades together. Quite a nice one. Not the most intense exercise in the world, but we'll get it. All right, guys, 2 more seconds. All right, let's go with this one. Let's go with this one. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. All right, 15 seconds to go. 10, that's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, take a breather. 25 seconds. All right, 10, 9. All right, what we're moving into next, my favorite, skates. You simply, as if you got a pair of skates on, from one leg to the other, keep them arms moving like you're on a pair of skates. All right, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, let's go. From side to side, push off that weighted foot. All right, 15 seconds to go. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, 25 seconds rest. Take a breather, take some water. All right, next up, we're on to the lunge. Same alternating lunges, that is. 1 foot forward, lunge down, and push off that front foot. Then alternate foot, down, push off that front foot. If you want a bit more of a challenge, I've got a long drive tomorrow, so I'm not going to go for this one, but if you want to do jumping squats or jumping lunges, once you're down here, so instead of going back up, you go straight into the other lunge. All right, let's go, 35 seconds. All right, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15 seconds to go. That's 10, that's 9, that's 8, that's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, rest up, 25 seconds rest, guys. We're on to our last exercise of the circuit, and then we repeat that. All right, next up, I've got sweat on. It gets hot in Manchester. It's only my second Manchester summer in a long time. And when it doesn't rain, it's hot. All right, jumping jacks. Simply, I'll show you how it's done. My coordination isn't great, but here we go. So, jump out, in, out, in. The old PE favorite. We get that for 35 seconds. Give you 10-second more rest. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, let's get it, guys. 35 seconds to jump in jacks. Let's go. All right, 15 seconds to go. 10 seconds to go, guys. Then you get a whole minute's rest. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, get a 1 minute rest right here. I recommend taking a seat. You will recover quicker. Make sure you get a drink as well. If you manage to get time to go and get those weights from the cupboard, the can of beans or whatnot, perfect time to go and grab them now. All right, hope everyone's enjoying this session. I hope I'm doing Orlando proud. You're gonna get a couple of cans of beans or tomatoes. $400 grams a piece, so it's just under a kilo is what I'll be using. My dinner tonight, my dinner next week. All right, been about what? About 20 seconds to go, I'd say. All right, we're gonna repeat that. So we're gonna go back into the push-ups, guys. You ready? Give 15 seconds. I'll give you a break. It's my birthday. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Let's get on our knees. 4, 2, 1. All right, guys, push-up time. Remember, go on your knees if you need to. All right, that's 20 seconds gone. 15 seconds to go. All right, 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, 25 seconds rest, guys. Oh, I need to take a drink myself. Practice what you preach. Cat, don't go outside. Wait till I finish. My cat's wondering what's going on. All right, 5 seconds, guys. 4, 3, 2, 1. Into the jogging on the spot. You get them high knees up, you can do. Let's do this, 35 seconds. You're all doing great. Oh. So YouTube adverts and that. All right, let's go. 20 seconds to go, guys. 15 seconds. Keep them legs moving. When you deserve to sit down at the end of this circuit. All right, 10 seconds. That's 5. That's 4. That's 3. That's 2. And that's 1. 25 seconds rest, people. Then what we'll do, we're moving into the squats again. Just remember, I'll show you how to do them from both sides. From the back side. See how my hips go back before my knees go down. Keep them abs nice and engaged. That's what it looks like from the front. Abs nice and engaged. Glutes nice and low. All right. Let's go, guys. Let's go, let's go, let's go. 35 seconds. Uh. 20 seconds to go. We got this. 15 seconds. Come on. 10 seconds. You've got this. Light work. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take that 25 seconds rest there. I'll go quick. One thing that I will say is that if you're struggling between to keep the exercises going, you need to take a couple seconds breather. Take a few seconds whilst you're going through the 35 seconds. Once you feel up to it, jump straight back into the set for the rest of the time. You got this. All right, guys, let's go. Bring to the burpees now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Well done, guys. 15 seconds. You can get through this round. You're smashing it. 10 seconds to go. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 25 seconds rest. Again, burpees, hands down. The one exercise I do not enjoy, but we have to do things we don't enjoy sometimes to reap benefits and the rewards. All right, let's take that. 10 seconds left. We're going into those arm rolls. This is where I'm going to use my can of beans. Just to make that a little bit more difficult, but we still get the benefits. We ready? 35 seconds from now, let's go. All right, 15 seconds, guys. You got this. That's 5. That's 4, 3, 2, 1. Take 25 seconds. All right. 3 exercises left after this rest period. That goes quick. Then I get you stretched out. All in time to relax for the evening. All right, 10 seconds. We're moving on to the skates. Remember, we're skating, getting them arms going. Like we used to do back in the day. Should get for our skates, really. Right, we're ready. I'll give you 5 more seconds. All right. Let's go, let's go. Skate, 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 skate. Nice, great for the cardio, great for the heart. Keep going, guys. Right, we've got 10 seconds. Then we're into the lunges. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 25 seconds, guys. You deserve it. 2 exercises to go. Lunges and then jumping jacks. Let's do this. Whew, I got a big sweat on. All right, 7 seconds. 5 seconds. Going in for them lunges, yeah? Leg down, push off that front foot. Push off that front foot. You need to put your hands on your hips to help you balance, you can do. You help you putting your arms out, whatever works for you. But remember, push off the front, not off the back. All right, nearly there. 10 seconds to go. We're doing well. All right, 5 seconds, guys. Get the last 3 reps out. 3, 2, 1. Take 25 seconds rest. You deserve it. All right, after this, on to our very last exercise, last round of jumping jacks. Then we get stretched. And then we can relax for the evening. Okay, we ready? 3, 2, 1, here we go. 35 seconds. So that's 35 seconds you have to think about. Let's go. All right, we're on to the last 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, rest up, guys. Give you a whole minute's rest. And then we're moving on to the stretching. All right, what I recommend you do just for this little breather, just pace around your room or wherever you are. If you can pace. I'd take my shoes off. My girlfriend would go mad at me walking on the carpet with my shoes on. All right, that was a good workout for me, guys. I appreciate you joining that. All right, yeah, marching on the spot for 10 seconds. If you want to climb the imaginary ladder, you can do, but we're bringing down the heart rate right now. All right. Oof. All right. Okay, so we move on to some stretching. First off, we'll go for the neck stretch. Head down there, hand on the side, put your head, and then just gently pull your head towards your shoulder. So hand on the right side of the head, tilt the head to the left, gently stretch that. In 15 seconds on there. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then 15 seconds on the other side. All right, next up, it's a quadricep stretch. So your quad, you need to hold on to the wall, you can do. Can you still see me? And kick your right leg into your right hand and pull your foot towards your butt, your glutes, whatever you like to call them. All right, and then once you've done that, same again on the other side. You need to stick your hand out to help you balance. If you need to hold the wall or piece of furniture, it's absolutely fine to do so. Okay, right, next up, we're gonna hit the floor. We're gonna do a low lunge onto your knees. Right leg in front. All you wanna be doing is just leading into that right leg. Leaning forward. You need to keep yourself upright, you can do. You squeeze your left glute. You'll feel a nice stretch through your hip. And once we've done there, change sides. Nice 15 seconds on each side. Alright, count nearly done. All right, next up, onto our backs. What I want you to do, face this way, it might be easy for you to see. Knees bent on the floor, want you to cross your right ankle over your left knee. Then what I want you to do is reach through the gap, make a figure four, clasp your hands together, and then pull your knee towards your chest. It's easier for you to see like this. Leg over, arms through. A nice 15 seconds there, all right? Should get a stretch through the back of your leg and through your glute there. And then once we're done with that, literally exactly the same on the other side. So left leg over the right ankle, reach through, make that figure four, and then pull the knee in towards the chest. Try and keep your shoulders flat against the floor, not like mine are. But I need to stretch more. A nice 15 seconds on that side as well. All right, gonna move into a chest stretch now. So what we're gonna be doing simply, arm, we're just gonna hook it, we're just gonna put it across the chest, all right? For 15 seconds. Get a nice stretch across the chest, it also stretches out the back of the shoulder as well. All right, once we're done there, release that, straight into the other side, all right? I feel this a lot, actually. Okay, once we're done there, we're back on our knees. So we want to be, this is known as tabletop. So you want to be hands and knees. What I want you to do, reach your right arm up, and then thread it underneath the left arm, all right? And this will be a stretch across your back and your shoulder. I feel this big time. If you want to deepen the stretch, you can walk your hand forward. We'll be here for 15 seconds, about 7 seconds now. And then once we're done here, we come back up, back into that tabletop position, and do the same on the opposite side. So left arm up and straight under. Again, if you want to challenge it, walk your arm out. All right. Next up, we're staying on our knees. This is known as child's pose. But these are a few yoga poses that we do, or I do after training sessions. So you want to sit on your heels, and all you want to do is fold forward, head on the floor, stretch your arms out, or you can have them by your sides, whichever's more comfortable. And we just stay here for a count of 30, all right? And just let everything relax. Take deep breaths in and out. Your nice release on your glutes and your lower back, your lats, your chest, basically everywhere. All right, 10 more seconds here. All right, come out of that. You can be wherever you want for this. You can be sitting down, you can be on your knees, you can stand up. We're just gonna stretch out our triceps. I'll stand up so you can see me better. Simply, arm in the sky, bend your elbow so you put your hand behind your head. You need to use your arm to pull the arm in a bit. You can do, but 15 seconds here. And stretch down the back of the arm right there. All right, 5 more seconds here. All right, and then simply on the other side as well. And now it's 15 seconds here too. And then we've got one more stretch after this. It's actually personally one of my favorite stretches. If I just get time to be in this position, which is the forward fold. All right, and we did this to warm up, but this time we're gonna hold it for a little bit longer. I'm gonna hold it for 30 seconds. So again, simply, feet hip width apart, push your hips back, all the way down. You start to feel a stretch here, and then just let your whole upper body hang loose. If you want to grab opposite elbows, you can do. If you want to have a little sway around, you can do. But just let gravity do the work. There's nothing required of you from this position at all. And effectively stay here for as long as you like. 30 seconds is what I like to do. All right, guys. That's the session completed. I hope you all enjoyed that. Has anyone got any questions at all?
I've got one. Nathan, before you go.
Oh, you all right, Orlando, mate?
Hey, you all right? How's it going?
Man. Yeah, I'm all
Very
right.
well done for that session today. I hope
Thank you, my
everybody across our platforms, across YouTube, LinkedIn, Zoom, and Facebook really enjoyed our session. Just got a question. So can you give us a little bit about your fitness journey so far?
Yeah, to be honest with you, man, I'm quite new in the fitness industry. Only been doing it since my 30s. I was 34 the other day. Just woke up one morning when I hit 30 and I just didn't look like I was in my 20s anymore. So I hit the gym at 31. Didn't really know where I was going. Had no goal. Signed up to a course. Completed the course, which was level 2 fitness instructor. Give me access to be able to work in the gym, which then led into my level 3. Just completed the level 3 now, and that's that. So never too late to start. Literally only been in the game for a couple of years. Completely changed my life. I had back pain. I had all sorts of problems. Regular exercise and stretching and yoga really it's absolutely changed the game for me. I can't lie. And that's my fitness journey to date. So yeah, I'm just getting into my 3rd year now.
Yeah, so heard you done your fitness diplomas as well recently.
Yeah, I've done those too.
Okay, good. Nice. All right, people. So hope everyone enjoyed that session from our guest trainer, and we will definitely have him on again. But until then, people, make sure you tune in again next week, 6:30 to 8 p.m., where our first hour is reserved for our informative seminar, and our last 30 minutes are reserved for our fitness session. But until then, people, thank you to Nathan, thank you to our guest speakers, and I'll see you all next week. Peace.
Thanks for joining me, guys. Take care.